The governor of North Carolina is railing against lawmakers' decision to override his veto of a ban on most abortions after 12 weeks.
The state's Republican-led legislature voted along party lines to uphold the new restrictions yesterday. Dozens of people from both sides of the issue gathered at the House Assembly during last night's vote. Democratic Governor Roy Cooper said today the women of his state feel as if they've, quote, been slapped in the face.
This vote shows that Republicans are completely unified in their assault on women's reproductive care. With their sneakiness, they have tried to avoid lighting a fire under Democratic and independent voters. Too late. That fire is blazing, and you're guaranteed that this right to reproductive health is going to be a main issue in the 2024 elections in North Carolina.
The Democratic governor vetoed the abortion ban on Saturday. It is now set to take effect on July 1st. Joining us now from Raleigh, North Carolina, is CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns. So, Caitlin, the governor says this veto override betrays the women of North Carolina, but voters in the state elected a Republican-dominated legislature. So, what is the disconnect there? How do the majority of residents actually feel about this abortion ban?
Hey, Elaine, great to be with you. Well, there has been a changing dynamic in the state legislature. Yes, it has been dominated by Republicans, but it wasn't until last month that Republicans gained a super majority, which means that they can override anything that the governor does and vetoes. And that's what happened here. What led to that was a Democrat in the state legislature switched her party registration to Republican and voted with Republicans to pass this bill. Also voted with her now fellow Republicans to override the veto. And that's something that when we were here last fall, a lot of activists were very worried about the transitioning of a legislature here. What's significant about this lawmaker who switched parties is that before all of this, she campaigned as someone who would codify Roe into law. She co-sponsored a bill. She was very supportive of abortion access here in North Carolina. But this party switch came also with a switch in policy position. And that's what apparently we saw bear out over the past couple of days.
That is a major philosophical change. Caitlin, people are wondering, does the governor have any moves left? Is there anything that can be done between now and July 1st to stop this abortion ban?
There is really a limited, the governor is really limited given the supermajority in the legislature. We're waiting to see what kind of court challenges are filed. He did tell us earlier this week that he will do everything in his power to act unilaterally on this and will try to do things by executive order. But as you both have seen, as we all have seen, this kind of mirrors what we're seeing at the federal level, where the executive branch is very limited on this issue. The same in the states. I mean, now that this is an issue that has gone to the states, it's really been up to these state parties, these state legislatures, to make decisions about abortion laws in the state. So even though there is a Democratic governor here, he is limited by the numbers that Republicans have in the legislature.
Caitlin, let's shift gears to another abortion-related issue. A federal appeals court in New Orleans is hearing arguments today over the legal status of the abortion pill Mifepristone. What can you tell us about the latest battle?
Right, and we've been following this battle in the courts. Remember, it started in Texas, where a Texas judge suspended the access to this medication, which is used for over half of abortions in the United States. An appeals court narrowed that position a little bit. The Supreme Court, kicked it back, gave a little more time, issued a stay to be able to let this play out in the courts. The big question is now, as this plays out here in this appellate court, this could have wide-ranging implications in states where abortion is legal, and that's why everybody's watching this case. Not only has it been a commonly used drug for over 2 decades, it is also, in use or available at least in states where the procedure is banned, but also in states where it's not banned. And so that raises questions about the access that people, even in states where there aren't restrictions on abortion, whether they'll be able to access this medication. So they will hear these arguments today, not likely to have a decision made, but also just goes to show how, now the United States kind of operates under a patchwork of laws across the country, and this is also being fought in the courts with a lot of uncertainty ahead.
Right, it really underscores that point. Caitlin Huey-Burns. Caitlin, thank you.